guys, Charlie here from FunkyVapes, yet again with another funky review for everyone this evening. Tonight's hat, we're going to take a look at the Orion version 2.1. I just bought this mod. I always wanted to try one. I know they get a lot of great reviews. Pardon me. They seem to be just touted as this very reliable, very well machined Genesis hybrid, and I really want to take a look at all the Genesis stuff. So I picked one up, and I am certain that if I don't like it, I can pass it on. Probably what I paid for it. So here she is. This is the version 2.1. From what I understand, there's a few differences between the different generations. Aesthetically, the most noticeable one is the finish. This one's matte finished. I might as well talk about the finish right away. It blows my mind how well put together this thing is. It is like the Bliss. It has a very fine machining grooves on it, but it's so fine. No fingerprints, no grease-a-bloom stuff going on. It is just absolutely solid. It doesn't weigh that much, to be honest. Once the battery's out, it's relatively light, I would say. Machined out of stainless steel. You'll notice that threads are kind of upside down, as your typical mod might be, and the battery does indeed go in upside down. This one has an electric switch inside, tiny little button, which is actually pretty nice, and the top cap, of course, also stainless steel. Very nice. I have a glass tank on mine. I hear they came with plastic ones. The guy I bought this from had glass ones, so he sent me some glass ones, sorry. Under the hood, it has two potential wick holes and two grounding posts. And there's also, I use this as a fill hole because I'm only using one wick. Got a wick in there right now. It's about 3 wraps of 28 gauge Canthal. So there you have it. In terms of the finish, the threads are so smooth. They are ridiculously smooth, just like butter. They just go in and out, no squeaking, no scratching. Extremely smooth, and it's about the exact same diameter as a GGTS because I actually can use these tubes interchangeably on my GGTS, which is cool. Not very practical. I guess I can just use this one as an extension to kick it if I wanted to. It's neither here nor there in terms of the review. Just some of the depths of the threading allow it to not be prevent it from being screwed in all the way, but it has nothing to do with the Orion at all. So very solid design, a very witty bitty little hole there. No drip tip, as everyone knows. It's one-piece top cap. There is a second, I guess a reseller, but they're not affiliated with NoSmoker. It makes the top caps with a drip tip, where you can put your own drip tip in them, sorry. And that's about as much as the aesthetics go. It's very cool. It uses an 18650 inverted, like I said. You can take off this part here, take off the extension, like so, and then put in an 18350 to make probably the cutest, smallest little hybrid you've ever seen in your life. It's very petite. It's actually too small for me, but I have the smallest hands you could imagine, and I can myself pretty much palm it. As long as you're not extremely small-handed as you'll be able to palm it for sure. So I guess I'll go ahead and take a little rip on it, and just for starters here. It's actually not bad. I'm going to switch back to 650 mode, just 'cause it's more comfortable in my hand. It just screws together flawlessly. Beautiful completed look. For a size comparison, I guess I can do this because I have more than one device. Here's a Pro Very Mini with the extension tube on it, and the device itself is smaller, then you get the tank on top. So, I mean, with a tank, I'll screw on this Finiac tank. With a tank on it in 18650 mode, it's actually still shorter than a ProVary Mini with a rather conservative length drip tip on it. Still shorter. If you put the regular cap on, it would actually be slightly taller. In any case, it's very small for an 18650 mod. A lot of hybrids are shorter anyways, but let's take another rip duty on it. To address the inevitable question, I don't even know what the blend of this juice is. I can tell you though, it's from Allison Vapeland, and I'm very suspicious. I think it has tons of PG in it because it tingles my throat so, and I'm not getting tons of vapor out of it. But anyways. The building a coil is an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Very nice screws here. There's no lip on the your base there, so you just plop it down nice. I use the Peter K method on it, as I do most of my Genesis stuff, and then the center post here is actually on a spring, so you basically just have to pop it under, and it's so easy, and you get a nice, lovely coil there. As I mentioned earlier, this is 28 gauge Canthal. It's a 3-wrap. So I expected to get a lot more vapor out of this, and I like to bore my holes out to 1/16 at least, and I'm not doing that with this because I might be getting rid of it. I'm not sure. It might not be the device for me. I'm going to use it for a few more days and just see, but we'll talk about that in a second. I've read a lot that people have problems with the switch not working, and I may have found a solution. When I got this, it wasn't working at all. It wouldn't fire. And at the bottom of the center post here, you can see there's another little nut. And all I did was just to try everything. I just tightened that down with a pair of pliers, like a turn and a half, and it felt like it wouldn't give anymore. So I just tightened it as much as it would go, and then it fired totally fine. It's been firing fine since then, no problems at all. So I'm not sure what was going on there. I was assured by a very good seller that it was working fine when it left, so maybe it just, with the cold outside, it just loosened up that nut a bit, and I just tightened it a tad. So this is probably the most beautiful hybrid I've ever held in my hand. It's just so nice and small, and it feels like one solid piece of metal. The finish on it is incredible, and I want to love this thing, and I'm going to tell you why I don't love it. I do like it, I'll tell you why I don't love it. My two main gripes with it, number one is I can't reposition the placement of the wick. With my stuff, I want to have the wick facing down towards the ground, and that's just because I make very thin, hollow wicks. I don't like the inverted feeding, the true capillary reaction. I just haven't mastered that yet, and I've tried. So I like to tilt it a bit. Plus, I chain vape tons, so even if it was feeding properly with capillary action, I don't think it would feed fast enough for me. So when I do it like this, it's basically like an open straw, and it just pours the juice onto the coil. Not the true Genesis spirit of things, but how I use it nonetheless. So for my style, I like to hold it down. So the button's here on the side. So there's the button, and then you turn it 90 degrees, and there's the wick. So in order for me to face the coil down, I have to turn it so now the button's on the side. So I have to use it with my finger. I know I probably sound like a prima donna, but I just like to point my button down or my button up. It doesn't really matter if it's up or down, but as long as the coil faces the button on either side. Just here's a ProVary. I don't know why. Another tasty vape. My other gripe with this, and this is the reason I think I might not be holding on to it, the button thing really doesn't, it's not a killing feature for me, to be honest. It's actually, I gotten used to using it already in a day or two. It's that I really do chain vape for real, and I'm actually filling this up like every half an hour. It's a small tank, but that's fine too. Um, this thing gets incredibly hot. I mean, like, stupid hot. It just to the point where it gets to the point where I can't vape on it anymore, and I'm pretty used to having hot things around. I'm a chef by trade, and I mean I can pick up hot pans and I can drink hot things, eat hot food, and it gets uncomfortably hot, like really hot, in about 10 minutes of chain vaping. Even if I'm in the car, like just driving somewhere else in the city, it gets hot to the point where I can't vape it, and it takes a long time to cool down because it's such a thick machine stainless steel. Now, I haven't been chain vaping in the video, but I can assure you it's warming up a bit to the touch now, where it's nice and warm, but it gets hot, like really hot. Um, I could say with some confidence that probably if I bored out the air hole, it might help with that a bit, but I can't see it making a difference. Eventually, it's going to heat up to the point, and I use very low resistant coils with like a lot of vapor. So for me, I need lots of vapor, which with fixed voltage like this, you're pretty much stuck making a low resistance coil. So you're generating a lot of heat. It's a very small chamber inside of here, very, very small, plus it's thick anyways. It heats up fast and it retains that heat, and it's not enjoyable for me anymore. I suppose I could pick up the aftermarket top cap kind of thing. I don't know exactly where to get them, and I'm not certain that I want to do that. Number one, they don't come with the air hole punch in them already, which isn't a huge deal for me. I could do it myself. Um, just because there's discrepancies with where the air holes line up. A lot of these, I've seen them. The air hole actually lines up with the button, which would have been nice to get. But alas, this one does not, so I have to put the air hole in the same spot anyways. I could put a second air hole, I guess, but in any case, I'm going to try it for a few more days, and if it gets to that point, whatever. So the reason I haven't bored out the air hole already is because a lot of people, they want to buy this mod, rebuy it on the classifieds, unmodded, and I've taken really good care of this. I received it in pristine, brand new condition, and I intend to keep it that way. I won't take this out of the house until I know whether or not I'm going to keep it yet. And I lied to you all. No, I didn't lie. I just said something. I do take it out of the house. I got out of the house today while I was driving to school, actually. But I'm going to keep it in very good condition. Overall, I can't really flaw the design of it. It's too perfect to me. It reminds me of a Precise Plus. It's just so nice, and the finish is great. I love the drip tip too. That nice slim profile, just very simple, reductionist kind of look. It just gets super, super hot. And like I said, if I bored out the air hole and I could put my own drip tip on here, even a metal one, it's that further removed from it. I'm sure it could be fine. I was also thinking of putting like a silicone grip around it, but that kind of defeats the purpose. It would just look all weird, and I like that it looks all metal. So I guess I'll rip on it a couple more times. In terms of vapor production, for the coil that I set up, I did expect a bit more vapor. I'm a big fan of Mac 206. Marco Seattle does a lot of Genesis reviews. Anyways, he used to love his Orion. I watched his Orion video a bunch of times, and he seems to be getting tons of vapor out of the thing. I know his is bored out, and I do bore mine out too. I told you why I'm not doing that yet. So I'm assuming I would get the better vapor when I mod it a bit. In any case, as it stands now, it's okay. It's better than say like the Dud or it's actually even better than the Bliss with the two air holes. It's better stock that way. I haven't bored up my Bliss yet either, so. But by no means bad vapor production. It's actually very nice. Throat hit's nice. It's a little bit warm. Low milligram nicotine here, so not too harsh. Anyways, I ramble a bit. I like that you can use it as a very small mod if you so choose. I like it in the big form here. I like the simplicity of it, not a lot to go wrong. The non-mechanical switch kind of disturbs me a bit because I'd have to be without it for a while if it ever failed, but I have no reason to believe it would fail anytime soon with regular use. That's about it. The contacts are nice. It's just a solid stainless steel contact integrated right into the body and the bottom. Look at that nice swirl. Beautiful machining. So nothing's going to go wrong there. And then in the top, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, yeah, you can very nicely. Next to the switch, there is a spring. Appears to be, I'm not sure what material that is. It's not too important. And I'm not sure about the protection on this either, if anything's built into the circuitry here. I know there must not be a very low amp limit because I'm pushing a lot of amps through this sucker right now, and it's doing just fine. So anyways, that's my look at the Orion. Kind of haphazard as all mine. I like to be very casual in my reviews. Casual guy. So I love it. I wish I could love it as much as everyone else seems to love it, and I think I would have to do some pretty intense modifications to get to that point, which isn't a huge problem for me. I'm holding out for something else, I guess. So that's my review. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing. I'll keep plugging my show every Tuesday night at cvcn.ca. At 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is the FunkyVapes Fun Time Vaping Variety Hour, or 2, where we just hang out, have a vape. A lot of Canadian folk in there. It's a nice, friendly room to hang out in, have some fun. In any case, I'll catch you later.